Alright. Next son of a bitch that cuts me off on the road, they gonna get it. Welcome, friends. Lost Scarf here, and it's time for the vlog. And I hope you liked that opener because I really enjoyed it. So first things first is obviously I can't hide my double chin right now. Can't hide it. I can't hide my double chin. So Movember's only the mustache, and my boss like, it's just the mustache. You don't have to shave anything else. I'm like, no, I'm shaving everything. I'm shaving everything. Everything. I did it as best I could to my boss to make him like, oh. All right, so yeah, I just want to, we'll just see how badly this all gets in 30, 31 days, whichever number it is. We'll just see how it is. And then, well, the mustache is the mustache. That's normal. I haven't shaved this mustache in like ever because it shaves itself and that I keep eating it while eating sandwiches. That's just how it is. You know, like when you grow a mustache, what happens is it doesn't grow down here. It just grows around because you just keep eating your facial hair because you don't have a choice. It just happens. That's why everyone gets that walrus look where it just goes blah, and it goes up and over, but it doesn't go here because you keep eating it. That's just how it is. You don't have a choice in the matter. Hairballs for every man who can grow a mustache. That's just how it is. I have not been cleaning these areas up though, and I'll do that from now on. I really just let myself go a little bit because of the car accident. So the real plan is after Movember to just shave the cheeks and keep the chin strap because I like the chin strap look, and probably shave the neck beard part at least and just have this because chin strap, and then keep the mustache, and then there you go, and actually do stuff with my hair. I really got to get into the habit of doing stuff with my hair because I never do, and I should really get in the habit of that. I just never do. That's it. I learned recently that yeah, sometimes you just don't wash your hair. Like you do all the body wash, but you don't do a head wash. You do a face wash, obviously. You don't do the hair, and that's because some people's hair they dry out, and you need to get greasy if you want to be able to do things with it. So I learned that recently. I was able to do some things with the hair before I cut it. That's all the hair stuff. I got new Kirby's, so we'll see those soon enough. Not yet. They're in the wash because all plushies I think should be washed just in case. You never know what'll be on them. And then like gentle, obviously. Put them in gentle run, obviously. And then gently dry them. Gently. That's how it should be. State test is on the 2nd of November. Oh my god, ballbacks on Sunday, by the way. Just remembered that. What was I gonna say? So I know everything about water right now, to the best of my knowledge. This is the second to last state exam I ever have to take for water, unless I decide to go into pure water, which is advanced treatment, so that's even more tests. The way this one goes is it's just the hardest test they can possibly give you, and this is for the 4. For the 5, it's an interview. They only ask you 5 or 6 questions, and you gotta know your stuff. And they'll ask you one way to the other. So they'll ask, like, there's problems happening here, what's going on? And then you'll figure that out, and then they'll ask the next part of it. Like some others, they'll make a change, and then a change, and then a change, and then a change, to the point that they've completely 180'd the situation. And you're like, oh, okay, so you're just showing you understand, so that if some big doomsday situation happens, or just big enigma situation happens, you have some idea how to handle it. So they'll do all that, and that's just going to be one question. And then they'll do the same thing. They'll ask you some big question, and they'll modify it as much as they want until they're satisfied, and then they'll move on to the next one. And everything's fair game that has happened in the last 3 or 5 years in the country. So many situations. Like, I'm sure people got Flint, Michigan questions for sure. That whole thing's a mess. I learned even more about Flint, Michigan, which is just so frustrating. So, in case you didn't know, Flint, Michigan, we're talking about this. We're going to talk about Blizzard next. So, Flint, Michigan, what happened was they were using Detroit water and then they switched to the Flint River. That's what happened because they wanted to save money. The problem was, my understanding is, engineers, water people were like, no, you can't do that. We have to do all these different measures to deal with this water and stuff like that. We're not ready for that. And the politicians said, do it anyway. And so they did it. And then what they said was going to happen happened, and the water was so corrosive, so aggressive, that it was pulling the lead out of the pipes. Or pulling the lead out of the solder. Because the way it worked is, not knowing how their pipes are, they probably were lead pipes as well. They stopped using lead in about, I think, the 1960s, and those pipes have lasted a long time. Then they started using copper. Copper is fine for the most part. There is an MCO for copper. There's only so much contamination with copper, but was used as a solder as well. So lead has been in a lot of old pipes. Newer pipes don't worry about it as much, but older pipes, a lot of lead. And of course, Flint, Michigan had a lot of lead pipes, a lot of lead soldering and all that. So it was coming out of the pipes and going into the water, and people were drinking it. And for years it was happening. Like the politicians, they were just like having bottled water for their people and everything, and just acting like everything's normal, everything's okay. But it finally comes out, and they get in trouble, and not enough heads rolled. Not enough people went to jail. Not enough people went to jail for longer than they got. So many people's heads should have rolled for this. They should have been whistle blown a long time ago. It's very horrible. Because what happened was they just wanted to save money by switching to a different water source, a more corrosive water source. And because they were not treating the water for its corrosiveness and stopping it from being as bad as it was, the lead got out of the pipes and got into the water supply, and people were drinking this water. Very bad for you. Extremely bad for you. But the thing is, also, because the lead's coming out of the pipes are getting worse, they're getting brittle, and so the life of the pipes in the system are getting worse. And that lead and that corrosive water is also hitting the plants, so the life of the plant is getting worse. The life of the entire water system in Michigan, Flint, Michigan, was aged greatly by this situation. So whatever they thought they were going to save from the river, it's just 100 times that, because they have to replace every pipe, they have to replace so much mechanical equipment, and there's the people cost that can't be replaced. Because kids were drinking this, and lead in your brain permanently does damage. So there are kids who are impeded permanently by this situation. So that was an extremely bad thing, and more heads needed to roll, more outrage should have came out of it, and yet it didn't. And this is something I'm frustrated with, and I think I'm starting to give up. Because, let's talk about Blizzard. BlizzCon has happened. There was very little protest. There was very little anti-Blizzard, very little fair against it. Everyone just got back on the train. Everyone just got back on the hype train for Blizzard. Just hopped right back on it. And I'm not okay with that. I'm really not okay with that. What Blizzard did was not great. And for me, I stopped playing HOTS, I stopped playing Hearthstone, I stopped playing co-op StarCraft 2, which is something I love playing. I stopped playing a bunch of Blizzard games when they did the big layoff. They had a record year in sales, and they laid off 800 people anyway. That wasn't okay, and that just made me not want to play any of the Blizzard games. So I just stopped, and then this year comes out StarCraft's version skin for StarCraft. It's like, alright, we'll do that. We haven't played a Blizzard game forever. I want to play this at least. Let's do that. And then we have this whole Blitzchung situation, and Hong Kong and all that, and Blizzard bowing down to China on that one. And I was furious. I'm like, okay, we're just completely done. I was starting to cool off. Like, alright, we'll come back eventually, we'll eventually play Blizzard again, I'm sure, in like a year or so, when they start bringing out like Overwatch 2 and stuff like that. And then the Blitzchung thing happens, and it's just like, son of a bitch, well, I don't want to do anything Blizzard now. Nothing at all. I don't want to do a damn thing Blizzard. Totally. And it sucks because we're in the middle of an LP, which I'm still debating if we just finish that LP or not, because this was more for Carbot than for Blizzard. So I'm still debating if I want to do it or not. And people just got back on that hype train. Overwatch 2 has been announced. Diablo 4 has been announced. Do you people have phones? Like, that? Blizzard, now it's Diablo 4, because I think they realize, like, oh crap, everyone's mad about that, as they should be. And yeah, everyone's just back on the Blizzard train. They're back on the hype train. When they apologize after a week with the Blitzchung thing, it probably would have helped for me. Like, it's like, okay, they made an apology, so that's going to make me not as mad. But then they put that China had nothing to do with it. China was in no way part of their decision to ban Blitzchung and ban those two hosts. That's what they put in that apology. And so I said that today, and Blizzard fans are like, well, they'd be lying if they admitted that, because China had nothing to do with it. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm not saying China ordered them, but it's obvious if they didn't do anything about it, China would be very pissed at them. China has everything to do with what they did. And so that puts an even worse taste in my mouth because it's just Blizzard people, like, they're just okay with it. To the point that some of them are lying to themselves about it. Very frustrating, extremely frustrating. So I'm very mad. I'm very mad about the whole Blizzard situation. I'm just not going to play Blizzard games. That's it. Just not going to play Blizzard games anymore. Blizzard was one of the first companies I've ever played. And now, no. I played Warcraft 1. I played Warcraft 2. I played Lost Vikings, although I think that was an acquisition. I can't remember if Blizzard owned, or Blizzard Activision owned Lost Vikings. Which one owns that? I'm not sure on that part, but I played Lost Vikings back in the day. I've played so many Blizzard Activision games. Very frustrating. Extremely frustrating. So just, oof. Just not going to play Blizzard games anymore. Like, sure, I'd play Overwatch 2. I'm not going to play Overwatch 2 anymore. I play Diablo 4. Not going to play that anymore. It's extremely frustrating. But you got to make a stance on something. They're going to make billions of dollars. This is the thing. People are going to be like, they're going to make billions of dollars, so what does it matter if I buy it or not? And that's exactly why they're going to make billions of dollars. Because if enough people said, I can play other things, they would not make billions of dollars. But that's not what's going to happen. For me, I can play other things. Instead of Overwatch 2, I can play a bunch of other things. Instead of Diablo 4, I can play a bunch of other things. There's so many games coming out. I don't need Blizzard for that. There are, of course, people who are really loving WoW, of course, and, well, you've been in it for 10 years. What can you do? I'm not going to give grief to people who still play Blizzard. I'm not going to do that. But for me, I'm just out. I'm out, and that's it. I'm not going to give people crap for it, but I can't support Blizzard. I'm not going to support Blizzard. I can't support that crap. And that's just the whole, like, well, and that was the talk the other time was, well, who can you support? Because everyone's shitty in some way. And that's actually very true. Everyone's shitty in some way. And I think it's just because Blizzard was it's that gif. You're the chosen one. You're supposed to be the good one. You're supposed to bring balance to the force. Everyone's looked at Blizzard as this amazing company for its entire life. And now what? Do you still look at it that way or not? I don't. Every company's got crappy parts of it, of course. But just, you can't stand up and act like you're this great thing when you do something like that. It's different from EA. Like, EA does a bunch of crappy things. At no point has anyone ever thought EA was some great company, though. Never! They've never been. There's no point where I've ever thought Electronic Arts are the good guys. They've just been this game company. Blizzard made you feel like they were the good guys for a long time. Because they've made those statements and standpoints about just being better. And then we got this. It's like, you got me, and then I'm all about accepting people and all these different things, and then you find out I'm just extremely racist towards people from whatever. Like, what it is. Like, of course, there's the people who make their money off Blizzard. They make content on Blizzard and stuff like that. Like, what are they supposed to do? Obviously, they can't pivot out. They gotta keep riding the train. Feel bad for that. But it becomes how much money to your soul. That's it. And if we were a primarily Blizzard channel, that would change things for sure, I'm sure. Nah, I would hop away. Forget it. I already know I would hop away. I hopped away from Smite. I hopped away from that. I can hop away from anything. Because we were growing with that. Random thing. It was very interesting. Was there's a random video I saw with Bill Burr, and it's this whole like internet questions, like they ask you questions and things, and he was on that, and it asked like how much money would it cost for you to you get an indescribable amount of money or world peace, which one? And he was like, world peace, no matter what. And they're like, the people just like, how much money? Like this much, 200 billion, more, unlimited money, whatever. He's like, no, world peace. World peace. There's no price on that. World peace. Because that's a thing. Like, world peace. Just, that would be such an amazing thing. No amount of money is going to outdo them. Like, that's an interesting standpoint. It's just there are things where there's no money that's going to change your mind. There are things that you'll stand on. You're like, this is it. This is where I stand. That's what I'm going to do. And That's where I stand on Blizzard. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to play Overwatch 2, which is too bad because I love Overwatch. I'm not going to play Diablo 4, which is too bad because I've played the crap out of Diablo. Still wish there was a freaking Warcraft 4. They finally counted the 4 on something. Real quick about the whole impeachment thing. Stuck politics. That's all happening now, and oh my god, that whole mess is gonna be a mess. Politics are not gonna be fun. Well, politics have never been fun. The frustrating thing is how we turn global warming to a political thing when it's a scientific thing everywhere else. It's just political here. Because we're stupid. Right, that was the thing I want to talk about. We are so easily distracted now. We're so easily distracted, and we're so easily led to things that reinforce what we want. We just very quickly just our backbone bends so easily now. It really does. Like, so many people were just so very mad about Blizzard and all that stuff, and then they just easily just bent back over on that. They just went back and just like, all right, they're back on the Blizzard train. There's so many outrages that keep happening, and everyone really cares for a minute, and then they don't care anymore. That's the problem. But there's so many controversies that we're like, oh my god, this is horrible. We should really take a stand on this. And then we stop taking a stand on it. That feeling goes away very quickly. We're just back to being distracted about something. I feel like it's why we see so many horrible things happen and nothing comes out of it. Nothing gets done about it. Because we just let ourselves get distracted back out of it. And then we just steady she goes back out of it. That's what happens. It's very frustrating. I don't know. I really don't know. We don't do enough. There's too many causes, so we can't all do every cause, but I don't think we're doing anything at all. It really doesn't feel like it. I just keep getting annoyed with hypocrisy just going on with the whole Trump thing right now. Because I watched 8 years of Obama just getting trashed by the Republicans, just them just crapping all over him. And now it's the shoe's on the other foot when it comes to just trying to stop Trump. And they're like, this is not right, this is wrong, this isn't okay. It's like, you did that. You did all those things. And it's constantly just eye for an eye and no one realizing that that's the bullshit happening and we come back together. It just doesn't happen. We get polarized more and more and more. Interesting was just hearing about the difference here. When Nixon happened, it was bipartisan. Both parties were coming together going like, trying to figure out what the hell Nixon do. What's going on with Watergate and all that. That's what happened. When Clinton happened, it was party lines. With Trump, it's party lines. There was a time when they worked together. And after 8 years of just the right just doing so much pushback and so much just hounding Obama, and then just Fox News caring about the kind of thing he puts on his hot dog and the suit he wears and all that crap. The most petty and dumb stuff. And the other side now doing it. Instead of recognizing, wow, we're all assholes. It's you're the asshole. That's all that's getting recognized. That's it. That's all that's being said. No, you're the asshole. I was never the asshole. You're the asshole. Everyone's an asshole. And yet we're not willing to work together to make it better. The hell are we gonna do? The denial, the fact it's political, whether or not Russia's been trying to F with us is ridiculous, because we know they were Fing with us. The fact that you got the freaking, what's the word here? My brain's short-circuiting for a moment. The intelligence. Intelligence is like, yeah, Russia was trying to mess with us. And somehow that's a political thing. They're fact-finding. They're fact-checking. They got all the answers there. They're giving you the facts, and it's treated like the facts are political. That is extremely frustrating. When the truth is treated as politics instead of just the truth, that's what pisses me off. As a scientist, that pisses me off so much. And it just keeps happening. I've said this so many times over the last, 2 or 3 years? That keeps happening. It's very, very frustrating when the truth is political. When telling the truth is treated as politics. That's so dang frustrating. And then the goalposts. The goalpost pushing is so ridiculous. It went from there's no quid pro quo, there's none of that, Trump's not doing anything malicious, to so there was a quid pro quo. Okay, sure, there was that, but that's a normal thing. Quid pro quos happen all the time. There's nothing malicious about that. There's nothing bad about that. He did a thing that always happens. It's just a thing that happens, and it's fine. It's okay. Thanks for moving the goalpost. Thank you for moving the goalpost. And that's why we all feel insane. Because, like, here's the line, now here's the line, now here's the line, now here's the line, now here's the line. And we just let it go. We just let the goalpost moving happen. We don't just grab them and drag it right back. Because there's not enough people who are just, I don't get it. Left or right, goalpost moving is extremely what the hell. Left or right, bold-faced lying just for your team is not okay. And that's the frustrating thing, as I've said many times. We treat politics like sports. We treat them like sports teams. This isn't sports. This is for the soul of the country. That's what's so frustrating. And I'm a broken record over this, so I'll stop already. State test, Outer Worlds. Oh, playing Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is really fun. Reminds me a lot of what I loved about the original Fallouts 1 and 2. It's got things from Fallout 1 and 2, but it's newer and it's first person and everything. It's not a perfect game, but I'm enjoying it. I'm sucked into it. I played 4 hours today. I started playing it today. Spent 4 hours on it. I need to get back to the indies because I got like 3 indies I want to do. Oh, here's a son of a bitch thing. Here's a son of a bitch thing. Remember Basically a Podcast? Someone more popular than us. I just saw on Twitter right now. They're like, what if I did a podcast like this? No one's ever done a podcast like this before. And it's literally basically a podcast. I'm like, son of a bitch. I love doing basically a podcast. And yeah, I haven't seen any podcasts really that do that, except kind of podcasts like that just exist, where you just interview people. Like, it's what it is. It's just an interview podcast, and interview shows have existed since 50, 60 years. Because that's what it came down to. I thought about it, is that I'm basically being Letterman, but not as funny, because I don't do all these other segments. I've been studying Letterman because he's a pretty damn good interviewer. I think he's a better interviewer than Leno, a better interviewer than Conan. Because he knows how to ask questions, and he knows how to lead to the next question. While as Leno and Conan, they're just trying to find the next joke they can make at times. And they make it about them at times as well. I love Conan, but he does make it about himself at times. Like, because he'll find a way to do a self-deprecate in there. Well, I feel like Letterman does a lot more of just letting the talk go. And so I miss Basically Podcast. Sometimes we want to do it again, but that's the schedule for it probably was, because we tried to do it weekly, and we did do it weekly, but we burned out on it. Burned out on it because just trying to get guests was a problem. Like, I can't just keep getting Verb. I can't just keep getting the same rotation. Trying to get new people, trying to get other people, and sometimes they just don't work out. And it's like, well, now it's time to stress over trying to find another person. And that's when it would be Verbal. Sometimes it'd be him because I got no one better I can get. And it's not a dig towards him. It's just, I know he's available and it's great to talk to him. I just want to have other guests. Or I'd get, oh my God, forgot his name. You know who I had multiple times. I'd get them if I couldn't get someone else. Or I'd get them if it's been a couple weeks. Because having regulars helps with that. But I just burn out on just not being able to find people. And then also want to do other projects and other ideas and other things like the LPs and everything. Of course, next year we're going to change up what we do. And who knows, maybe I'll do it and I'll edit it myself and everything to get it done. If I find room for that. Because Jinx's time is going to be used on other projects. This would be an extra. Another extra. And I'd have to edit it. And which I can do. But it also depends on how stressful time is at times. Maybe we would have to make it bi-weekly or something like that. But again, it's not an original concept. The realization I have is basically podcast has been a thing for like 50, 60 years. Because it is a funny man it's a funny creative person interviewing other funny creative people. But it's mostly known as just celebrities. But those are actors. Those are a creative form. That is a creative form. Actors, directors, writers, things like that. And that's what this was. Basically, podcast was developers, artists, music people, content creators, things like that. That's essentially what it is. At the same time, it is a very original idea, but it actually isn't at the same time. And that's fine. That really is. What matters is what you're making. What's the product? Is it fun? Is it good? Is it informative? And that kind of thing. And I really did enjoy doing basically a podcast. That's why I want to do it again, because it was meeting creatives. It was learning so much about their process and how they did things. And that was really fun. I just got to meet different people. So I want to do that again someday. Whether I do or not is the thing. But yeah, this person's just, they're like 50,000 followers and things like that. So they got a bigger following. So they'll probably be more successful at it. So Godspeed to them. It's really fun. So if anyone who wants to do it, hell yeah, do it. It's really fun. It's fun to interview people. So Godspeed to them. Also, I'm doing the Kirby podcast, which I'm enjoying a lot because I love Kirby so much. I have now talked enough. So that's it for the vlog. Next week we'll see. Freaking 8 daylight savings is going to mess with me. Not as bad as if it was on Graveyard, which I've said a few times already. Thankfully I'm on Graveyard, because that person has to work 9 hours, which sucks. It also sucks. I was in class for 2 days, and none of that was overtime. It used to be overtime, but somebody abused it, so now it's not overtime, so I don't get money for this. Dang it. Sucks. What happens is, if you do training or education for your job, when you're not working, you get overtime for it. But you're supposed to try to get it when you work. And I don't work Wednesday through Friday right now, so that's what happened. But some guy, what he did was, he always scheduled his trainings on his days off. Every time. So that it was always overtime. So to not have that be abused anymore, they made it no one gets overtime anymore. So you must try to have training on your days. The problem was, this training, there is no way to schedule on my days. It's just, this is the days that the training is, and it's only going to be this because it's for the test, and my schedule is what it is. It's on days I don't work. I can't do anything about that. So there was no way to just train and be paid for it. That sucks. And that's what happens. Someone just ruins it for the next guy. It's unfortunate. So that right there is the vlog. I hate the way I look right now. I miss my facial hair. Oh my god, I can't. Work's gonna give me so much crap on Monday. Oh my god. Everyone works on Monday. I'm gonna work the weekend, but the full crew is on the normal Monday through Friday. So that's the vlog. I have fun talking with him, watching and listening, and that's what's up as it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.